space with his fingertips. He weighs the mountains in a scale and the hills in a balance. The God that we serve has total control. He said, "Let there be light." And in that moment of time, darkness was shattered and conquered forever. His Son, Jesus Christ, walked upon his fist and said, "Peace, be still." That's control. That God is in control of planet Earth. And he can be absolutely in control of your life if you'll let him. He will. Worry is faith in fear. Worry is faith in fear. The two words in the New Testament from the mouth of the apostles: fear not, fear not, fear not the past. Why? Because your past has been forgiven and forgotten. Fear not the present. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Joshua 1, and climb the impossible mountain. I'll give you the ability to leaving in your personal defeat and despair. Worry is a polluted stream that flows through your brain, that drowns hope and optimism, that kills faith. Worry is interest paid on trouble that never happens. Think about that. One old man said, and I quote, "Most of the trouble I've had in life never happened." How many of you have worried yourself silly about something you just knew was going to be disaster and it never happened?
Worry enters our life through thoughts. But the Bible teaches us to cast all of our care on God because he cares for us. Life is real, and we never know exactly what's going to come our way, but we do know God. We don't have to live in fear because he's with us and he's on our side. Well, worry sees the problem, but it doesn't see God. I don't think it's wrong to see the problem. Matter of fact, I think we should look at our problems squarely, and then we need to tell them where they stand in relationship to God. Worry sees the problem, but faith sees the God who can handle the problem. Many of you have got a wonderful testimony in your life of what God has done for you. And God has brought you from some places that nobody would ever thought that you could have recovered from. Of course, I have that same testimony myself, and I'm telling you what, God is no respecter of persons. His promises are not for somebody else or an elite few, they are for you. He is here right now, and he is taking care of your situation. You don't have to worry. God will do one of two things if you have a problem. He will either remove the problem, which is always our first choice, and usually the only thing that we think we can even be remotely satisfied with. He will either remove the problem, or he will give you the strength, the grace, the ability to go, "You're going to give me the grace to deal with it." And if we can trust God enough to leave that choice up to him, because if he lets us go through it, then he's got a purpose in mind. There's something we're going to get out of it that we need. Trusting God is wonderful. It's so wonderful to just say, "I don't understand this, but I believe God's going to work it out." If you ever really want to live your life led by the Holy Spirit, you have to understand that God doesn't even usually call people that are qualified or who feel ready to do what they're being asked to do. That's why it takes faith to do it. And faith means that you step out based on what's in your heart, not based on what's in your circumstances. Instead of being afraid of new things, we should be excited about new things. And I know this sounds really like kindergarten simple, but honestly and truly, if people would just have the courage to just follow God for their individual lives, you would have an outrageously wonderful life. Not everybody might like what you do. Not everybody might approve of your choices. You might not always get a lot of encouragement and hand claps when you begin, but God will prove himself to you if you'll be bold enough to follow God and not the crowd. Myself included, we regularly come to places in our life and we haven't been there